Welcome back to Southport. It is the AFLW Under-18 Championships from the Southport Sharks Footy Club on the Gold Coast. Michael Price and Matthew Cox calling all of your action. The 10th year of the championships and game 2 on day 2 of round 2. It is Victoria Country versus the Eastern Allies. And Matthew, looking forward to this one. Victoria Country really did a job on Queensland in day 1 of round 2. And the Eastern Allies, well, they were just a bit wasteful. They came home with a wet sail against the Central Allies, but couldn't kick straight in the end.
Yeah, missed opportunities for Eastern Allies on Monday against the Central Allies. They had a couple of decent opportunities to win the game late in the final term, but unfortunately couldn't convert. And on the opposite side of the equation, Vic Country very, very dominant. Olivia Barber up forward, kicking 4 goals. Looking forward to seeing what she can produce again today. Renee Salitas was also very prominent for the Vic Country side. I do feel sorry, though, for their property steward, given the weather conditions that we have out here at Fankhauser Oval. It is a bit muddy, and they've got the white Guernseys on with the white shorts. So good luck to whoever is the property steward for Vic Country.
Plenty of that white sard soaker or pre-soaker that's going to go into it. So you will notice on the ground, if you've just joined us, in the first game, a beautiful day, 23 degrees, but there's a little bit of mud in and around the place. We'll get started in the middle. Vic Country, with the tap down. Notman goes in with the tackle, lets loose the ball, and they're forward through Country. Juggling effort there from McAvoy. Very good player. She couldn't get it. Speaking of very good players, Mia King could have been scragged around the ankle. She was absolutely on fire against the Central Allies. Best on ground for mine. And there'll be a ball up at centre half forward for Vic Country.
The tap, they went their way. At Favell on the outside for the Eastern Allies. Goes straight up the corridor. One of the better areas on the ground here at Southport today. Evans caught. Dispossessed. Just a rolling scrum of players at the moment. And they were waiting there. King, well, she had a mountain of time, but just held on to it. And in the end, the umpire blew the whistle and we get a ball up.
A lot of congestion, isn't there, in and around the footy. It's hacked forward for the Eastern Allies. Bounces in front there of Favell. She gets the ball back. Now it's put inside 50. Good numbers there for Vic Country. Chapman was at the front position, did well, got the ball out. Scrubs it forward. It could be coming back with interest. Hooking it around there, Hamilton. A good spoiling effort at the back for Vic Country, and hacking it out nicely was Millie Brown. She's a very good defender in the corridor and in the middle, using it nicely. Vic Metro, just the body work was a little bit better there for the Eastern Allies player in Morey. Ball at the back. There's going to be a fight on. They're not letting go. Don't worry about that. And we'll have another ball up in the middle of the ground. Again, inch by inch to start with.
And again, largely between the arcs. Vella, up and under kick and a land at centre half forward for Vic Country. Notman was unable to take it. Leading the race here, McDonald keeps her feet. Now under pressure. Still going, McDonald. On the outside is Molan, who just coughs it up. Eastern Allies get a hurry kick away towards the wing. No good. Going to come back. Shepherd. Esther O'Connor telling us a little earlier that she'll spend more time in the midfield this afternoon, as again it's locked up, paddled out. Favell getting in the thick of it early. Vella. Her kick smothered, and the Eastern Allies finally hit up a target. Mark taken by Edwards.
So Olivia Edwards just in the glue pot there. A little bit of a torp off the side of the boot. Bounces back into the corridor. Notman picks it up. Oh, great handball. Good running there from Brown. Gets it over to Vella. Vella loops a handball over the top now to Maloney. Maloney's got Brett in front of her. Can she pick it up? Or she's under a little bit of pressure now as the numbers arrive for Eastern Allies. They'll get the ball out, and that's a physical contest, and she's going to be getting up very slowly. Is Maloney for Vic Country as the ball stuck underneath a couple here. The umpire's going to come in and blow the whistle and say we'll ball it up. A couple of hard physical contests, and again, it's because of the glue pot changing direction. is a little bit slower and harder for a lot of the midfielders.
And can catch them off guard too, as we're all wrapped up again. Stop-start to get us underway. 3.5 minutes gone. Opening term of this second match on day 2 of the NAB AFLW U18 Championships on the Gold Coast. We're at Southport today, and the Eastern Allies work it clear through Whelan. It was touched. Play on the call from the umpire, Shannon. Kicks it straight back into the hands of the Eastern Allies on half-back. An awkward-looking kick there from Hilla Stanbrook. Will dribble over the boundary line and out of play. Last disposal out of bounds rule, so Vic Country will get the free kick in the hands of Isabella Shannon.
From the Dandenong Stingrays, nobody guarding the mark, so she takes off. Good presence of mind, kicks it towards half forward. Could have been a juggling effort there for the McAvoy, but cutting it off there for the Eastern Allies was Tarrant. Comes out wide now to Morey. Morey, dangerous kick into the corridor. It could be coming back. Hards. Taps it in front of herself. Can she regather? She does. She's knocked off the ball at the same time. Now the ball in the hands of Whelan. Handball backwards. They're retreating to go forwards. Player down just on the outer side from the Allies. We'll keep an eye on her. No, she's got back up. That's good. Tackling effort now. Spills the ball out. Once again, Vic Metro through Chapman, just providing the pressure, making sure the Eastern Allies can't go anywhere on the outer wing. This time it's just hacked forward. A one-on-one through the hands of Brown. She doubles back nicely, got some great skills. That's an aggressive kick, could be coming back. Mia King attacked it hard, but the ball spills and Vic Country have it in the middle.
Molly McDonald navigating well, but it's put it straight down the throat of Havel. Game just starting to open up a touch. 5 gone, first term. Eastern Allies and Vic Country. Ball floated out the back. King applying the tackle. Supporting her was Jade Hamilton, who was one of the best for the Eastern Allies on Monday at Metricon Stadium. In the thick of the action early here today. Thrown in the air. Palm downhill of Stanbrook. Claimed that one. Again, just a rolling maul of players. Favell on the outside. She's done that a couple of times early. The kick had good intentions. No good, though, when Millie Brown is standing there. She just swallows those with ease. Kicks it towards the broadcast side. Tackle laid on. Maloney back on her feet. Coughs it up. O'Donnell inside 50. They're peppering here, the Allies. They just need a target. Running in, soccering it off the carpet. Well done, Jade Hamilton, for the first.
Well, they deserve that, didn't they? They're just sort of getting the ball in and in and in and putting a lot of pressure on the Victoria Country defence, who just kept on repelling. But eventually, weight of numbers and really well rowed. And a bit of toe shown by Jade Hamilton there, the Queanbeyan Tigers product. And nice little bit of soccer skills as well, perfectly straight.
And knew exactly, given the glue pot at the top of the goal square, knew that she wasn't going to have the time to be able to gather it. So instinctive play just to soccer it through.
So first score on the board, it goes to the Eastern Allies after around about 7 minutes of this first quarter. The AFLW Under-18 Championships Game 2 match between Vic Country and Eastern Allies. Back into the middle of the ground. Eastern Allies will get the ruck contest. Notman actually gives it back there to teammate, hacks it forward. Towed off the deck again, more soccer skills, this time from Molly McDonald, who then picks it up. She's tackled, still gets a handball away. Teammate brushes off the tackles in Hards, promotes it forward, picked up there by Barber. Oh, she can do it all. She can dead set do it all. She's taking the marks on the lead, the big grabs. That was beautifully roved around the ankles, an instinctive snapshot through for goal. Great stuff. She kicked 4 goals against Queensland in game 1 for Vic Country and started off with another one here. So it's 1 straight 6 apiece after we've played nearly 8 minutes of the first quarter.
5 goals so far for the week.
Pretty handy.
Standout leading goal kicker at the moment across the 2 days so far. And as you said, she can do it at ground level. She can do it in the air. And importantly, she can make you hurt on the scoreboard. She did that on Monday against Queensland. And now we're all level here at Southport. 1 straight 6 apiece. 8 gone, first term. Eastern Allies They're fighting hard, but they won't be able to extract it. Came the way of Smith. Top of the 50-metre arc for Vic Country. Off hands, though, for the Eastern Allies. They'll clear defensive 50 with a long ball up the corridor. Just a little wide there for Jolliffe, who's high up the ground for the Eastern Allies. King did well to whack boot to ball. Inside attacking 50, getting back Smith. That's Daisy Smith for Vic Country. She's caught. Fighting for it, Hurley. Ball pops out. Caught was Lazowski Hay. And the umpire says, give it to me, I'll ball it up.
Under a lot of pressure, the country defence. The Eastern Allies, relentless so far. Hurley in the ruck for them. Gets the ball down. Good handball backwards. Going to go to Webster, but she's tackled off the ball very nicely. Spills towards the boundary line. Well, that could have been some high contact there. Nothing happening. The girls are still down on the boundary line as we follow the play. Go to the outer wing. Towed off the ground there by O'Donnell. She tries to get the ball back, but Vic Country through Hards comes back. Handball now. Back to Hards. To half forward. Doyle couldn't quite take the mark for Eastern Allies, but butters up and then kicks it towards teammate in Lovell. Really good contested mark. She goes around onto the right foot, long down the wing. McAvoy puts herself in. Ground level did beautifully with the hands. Got the handball away to Chapman, who kicks long through hands at the back of the pack. Lock. Handball now to Maloney. It's back to, is it Notman? No, it's not. It's Molan. She dropped the ball. Could have been pinged for holding it. Once again, the ball stuck under several, and the umpire's going to hug himself and will ball it up on the outer side. The tackling stats will be very interesting to have a look at very shortly.
And it was Lazowski Hay that went down earlier, coming from the ground currently in the hands of the trainers. As Favell again on the outside. Long kick towards half forward. Doesn't come off for the Eastern Allies. Receiving the handball, Chapman whacked it on her boot, but's turned it over. Mark taken by the Eastern Allies on that outer side. Kick inboard was not fantastic. Fighting hard is Lovell. She's going to be pinged though, holding the footy. Free kick the way of Vic Country. Defensive side of the outer wing. Ball in possession of Smith. She goes long in the Barber direction. Takes a good overhead mark. Plays on quickly. Oh, free player on here for Vic Country. Just holds up in the mud. Made it difficult for Brett. Kick inboard. She might get it back here. Brett did well. Shrugged off one tackle. Has a shot. Was an awkward kick off the boot. Landed in the goal square. Fighting for it. Notman. Caught. And the umpire says, give it to me, I'll ball it up.
Really well done by Shannara Notman just to hold the ball up at the top of the square there. It was a 2-on-1. Did well enough to hold it there without getting pinged. Now she roves, gets a handball away to Hards, breaks a tackle, dribbles one through. Well, Hards by name, Hards by nature. She went straight through the traffic. And Vic Country get another goal on the board. 2 straight 12, plays 1 straight 6 to the Eastern Allies, and we've played nearly 12 minutes of the first quarter.
Again, just probably against the flow of play a little bit. The Eastern Allies have had a fairly solid quarter. Vic Country just making the most of the opportunities, which I think it will come down to today for the Eastern Allies. They had the ball up their end for a little while, didn't make anything of it. Brookhard's able to put it through.
Well, we've seen that throughout the championships, what we've seen so far. It is the team that takes their chances that will come out in top.
Eastern Allies look to use the footy again in the midfield. And they're just going to whack it forward through O'Donnell. High ball towards centre half forward. Doing well, but getting dumped there. Hilla Stanbrook. Kick into the middle for Vic Country is good. Barber a long way from home. Long booming kick. Geez, it was good in the Notman direction. She took it on the half volley, put it straight into the mud, made things very difficult. Got it back, did Notman. Quick handball off to Shepherd. She's caught. And the umpire says, give it to me, I'll ball it up. Bea King applying the tackle there for the Eastern Allies.
She's diminutive, is Paige Shepherd. Boy, she gets the job done at ground level, doesn't she, as it's propelled forward. Eastern Allies under a lot of pressure. Once again picked up for Vic Country. Solitis has a go at it. Just comes off the side of the boot a little and one behind. 2-1-13, plays one straight six now. 7 points the margin, with the Eastern Allies about to bring the ball back in.
Long kick to no real effect in the end for the Allies. Ball squeezed out. McDonald doing her best. They're up against the boundary line here, Vic Country, but have moved it well. Brett inside 50. Notman had to wait for it. Tried to spin around to get it on her right boot. Has support here in Maloney. Oh! Geez, what that could have been. Hits the post, a minor score. 2-2-14, plays one straight six. The Eastern Allies trailing as we approach quarter time here in game two.
Ball drops into the hands there of Tani Evans. Play on and a long kick into the path there of Edwards. She's getting hassled off the ball beautifully. It was really well done there by Daisy Smith, just to pressure her opponent off the ball. Now it spills over the boundary line at right half forward for the Eastern Allies, and we'll get another throw in. They trail by 8 points late in the first quarter here at Southport. Been an entertaining first quarter in this game. Again, because of the nature of the ground, it's a little bit gluey. Conditions are perfect, 23 degrees with very little breeze. There hasn't been any rain for 24 hours, but you can see in certain patches of the ground there's a little bit of a glue pot barber in the ruck, and there's a whistle on play. It's going to be a free kick. Oh, and advantage paid, Eastern Allies. So it's in the forward pocket there. Dangerous times for Vic Country. Wheeling through, Mooring. Couldn't quite establish boot on ball. It's still loose in front of the goal square, but that'll do it for Vic Country. It was McAvoy who put herself in and won herself a free kick for illegal contact. So good defensive work. And there's the siren to end this first quarter. And a ripping first quarter it was. Vic Country 2-2-14 to Eastern Allies 1 straight 6. And the goals, well, we've had Hards with 1 goal and Olivia Barber with the second. She continues her goal-scoring form for Vic Country. Eastern Allies, Hamilton got their 1 goal in that quarter.
Brooke Hard's also the leading possession getter on the ground with 5 disposals so far. Abby Favell, who got a lot of the footy then, 6 touches, also laid on a tackle. And you did ask during that term, Michael, for the tackle difference. At the moment, it is 21-14 in favour of the Eastern Allies.
Yeah, it just looks like they're laying a lot more hands on their opposition players at the moment. But it is desperation stakes, and we'll come back with the second quarter very shortly. That is the first quarter done and dusted between Vic Country and the Eastern Allies. It's Vic Country by 8 points at quarter time. Welcome back to the Southport Sharks for Vic Country versus the Eastern Allies in round 2 of the NAB AFLW Under-18 Championships. At quarter time, Vic Country 2-2-14 lead the Eastern Allies 1 straight 6. Hamilton, the goal scorer for the Eastern Allies. Barber and Hards have got the goals for Vic Country. Just having a look quickly at some stats, you've got the Allies leading 6-4 in the inside 50s. The clearances go with the Allies as well, 8-6, but the hit-outs being dominated by Vic Country 10-4.
Yeah, they are, and just having a look to see 7 the way of Notman, so she's clearly above. And Barber, who was thrown into the ruck too in that late in that quarter, also dominant with 3. So
she's had a good couple of games. I think so far. Like on Monday, I thought she was very good, and again today has started quite well. Of course, Karras was the domination in the ruck on Monday, not playing today, so they've had to sort of share it around a little bit more without their first choice ruckman there.
It's still positive, though, that you can be able to go to another option and still perform really well in the ruck. Looks like Notman will take this contest for Vic Country. They lead 2-2-14. Eastern Allies 1 straight 6 as we commence the second term. And feeding the handball, Smith. King was able to cut it off. She got caught. And we should get a ball up, and we will. Early stages in the second term. Game 2, day 2 of the 2019 NAB AFLW Under-18 Championships. Again, we get a scrum for Val. Just had an awkward handball delivered to her. Hamilton doing her best to try and clear traffic for the Eastern Allies. Just bees around the honeypot at the moment. In the middle of Fankhauser Reserve. Whacked on the boot there from Shannon. Trying to clear for Vic Country. Tarrant chasing it. Has pressure on, did well to gather. Pops it over the top, and the mark is taken here by Evans. Attacking side of the outer wing for the Eastern Allies. Shocking kick off the boot, but it was still effective. They get a mark. I think trying to pick up who that was out there for the Eastern Allies. Delivering it inside 50. Going to clear it away here, Chapman. Going to pop it back outside, but it's going to be stopped. Tarrant takes another mark.
So Brenna Tarrant will put the ball straight back in attacking 50 for the Eastern Allies. Pops up. Goes through hands. Umpire says there was high contact in that marking contest. A free kick will go to the Eastern Allies. It's going to go to Jordan Jolliffe. Bendigo Pioneers. Can be utilised through the midfield as well. Very damaging player. And a good kick of the footy as well. She'll have to get right onto it here. No wind to speak of. The ground's still a little bit gluey, but conditions very good, 23 degrees. Bit of a wobbler, top of the square, another free kick, another holding free kick. So the defence panicking, the ball comes in. If you're playing in the front position, defence getting out of position and just panicking and going the grab there. The free kick is going to Zoe Hurrell. From directly in front, Zoe Hurrell pops it through. That's the one that the Eastern Allies really wanted to get things going from the Sydney Uni Bombers. Zoe Hurrell gets their second goal. 2-2-14 to Vic Country. 2 straight 12 to the Eastern Allies.
And that all started with great structure up from the Eastern Allies. That ball came outside a defensive 50. It was a hoping kick from the Vic Country defence. Went straight down the throat of Tarrant, who was then able to set the Eastern Allies up well going inside attacking 50. They're just positioning themselves a little bit better at the moment. Vic Country, they lead by 2 points, but it's not convincing at the moment from them. They go forward on this occasion. Inside 50. Brett was trying to burst her way from the contest. Ball to ground. Taken here by Maloney. Her handball intercepted though by O'Donnell. Hurry kick on the boot. Wasn't the required distance. King just spirals one straight into the muddy stuff right in front of our broadcast position. Smith, her kick brilliantly smothered by Mia King. Very close to the boundary line. Desperate stuff from the Tasmanian. Over the line and out of play.
She's another player who does all of the hard things with the ball can produce scintillating skill, but defensively, the 1%ers like that.
It's thrown back in. And here she goes again, King trying to stop Maloney, and ends up in the hands of Whelan. Goes in board. Eastern Allies just doing a little bit better at the moment. Tarrant goes long towards the outer side. Edwards, faced with a bit of pressure, did well. Gives off to Hamilton. Goes inside 50. Foot race on. Hurley has Millie Brown to beat in defensive 50. And Brown, all class, releases Vic Country from the last line of defence.
She is a ripping defender, Millie Brown, isn't she? Kicks it out into space, and it works very nicely for Vic Country. Wood delivers a nice pass. Now to Shepherd. She takes it back out. That's good use of the footy from Vic Country as well. Shannon gets it out. Once again hitting a target and doing it beautifully. Locke. She pops it up inside 50. Through hands at the back of the pack. Hards is going to go for it for Vic Country. She gets her opponent off the ball, gives him a chance. It looks like that's a high contact free kick. It's going to go to the Eastern Allies. It's going to go to Hilla Stanbrook, Eloise. Hilla Stanbrook. That's a really relieving free kick.
Goes wide with a kick. Oh, dangerous. Although everyone left the ball behind in the end. Shoveling the handball out. Tarrant being prominent early in this second term. They tried to get it back to her, but was fisted away. They just try and clear defensive 50. Not great. McAvoy lurking. Did well to spin her way out of trouble. Receives the 1-2 does McAvoy. High kick on the boot. And a mark will be taken out there by Whelan. There's an Eastern Allies player in a little bit of trouble. And we're just stopping play momentarily. Just trying to pick up who that is. Just a little winded out there. I think it's Gemma Webster. Just breathing it in, trying to compose herself. The umpire will give the ball back, and a free kick will go the way of the Eastern Allies in the hands of Whelan. So
Whelan drops it in the path of Mia King. Can't quite control it. Vella, she gets it out. Well done by Smith. Tiana Smith drops it forward. Eastern Allies have got numbers there again through Tarrant. She just hacks it forward. It's going to come back, possibly. It's well done by Vernon, Brooke Vernon. Now handball over the top. They're moving it nicely. Ends up in the hands here of Gardner. Kicks it towards right half forward. Notman at the back of the pack. Gets down there. Well picked up by Brett. Wheels around. Gets the handball out. Kicked back inside there by Locke. Another contest there. Right against the boundary line, and the Eastern Allies under enormous pressure. This could be a dangerous kick. It is. Reading it nicely and dropping back in there, Paige Shepherd. As we said before, diminutive, but boy, can she get around the ball and utilise it. The Geelong Falcons product from directly in front. She'll have to unload this one from 35 metres. Would extend the lead for Vic Country. Gets underneath it. Gets underneath it enough. Nice and straight too, Paige Shepherd. So Vic Country get their third, 3-2-20, plays 2 straight 12. It's now a game high, 8 points the margin.
Paige Shepherd, as you said, from the Geelong Falcons, played 10 NAB League girls games earlier in the year, averaging 17 disposals and 5 tackles a game. Also kicks 3 goals for the season. And we heard from Astor O'Connor during our earlier game, she was joined us in special comments, that she was going to play a little more midfield time today. Still able to sneak forward though and kick the goal there, Paige Shepherd.
Yeah, just I didn't mind the way she just lined up dead straight, put some air in the ball, but more or less just followed through, make sure she got the kick right.
And took the mark under pressure as well. She was in a space, landed on her chest. And in moments like that, you can get a little bit panicky with footsteps coming. She did incredibly well there, Paige Shepherd. Vic Country moving forward again. They're now starting to get on top. Long ball inside a fairly vacant attacking 50. Juggling it here, Phillips for the Eastern Allies, being held according to the umpire, and will get a free kick at the top of the defensive goal square. Just need to settle it down. Kick floats over the back of the contest. To ground. Gardner releasing the handball. Favell caught by Shepherd. Ball smothered. Eastern Allies end up with it momentarily. O'Donnell being tackled, turned it over. Vic Country with another opportunity. Here she is again. Paige Shepherd, long ball, top of the goal square. Landed in the hands of Notman, who just swings around. Wild shot at goal. Goes through for a minor score. 3-3-21 Vic Country move to 2 straight 12 the Eastern Allies. We've gone 9 minutes in the second term.
I love the way Shannara Notman attacked that ball in the air, but then had the presence of mind to have a crack at the ground level contest as well. This isn't going anywhere. Well, it's just on the edge of the glue pot. Reminds you of Moorabbin back in the 80s. Not quite that bad. As it's smacked down by Barber. Oh, she puts herself back in the contest. A big girl tried to push her opponent off, and that's holding the ball. Good tackle. It's the Eastern Allies win the free kick. Really good tackle there coming from Phillips, Sophie Phillips. She looked for a teammate there in Evans. It was picked up there by Paige Shepherd, and she found a teammate, but over the boundary line. And we'll have a throw in. Contested play, meaning there wasn't a free kick involved. So you see both Rucks, Barber and Emily Hurley going back into the mud. Slapped down by Barber. Well picked up there by Wood. Missed with the handball. She was looking for McDonald. Almost scoring a try was Lovell. On top of the ball's stuck underneath several again. And the umpire right in front of us here in the Cabana Lounge commentary box.
Very nice day here at Southport. Conditions perfect in the commentary box, not so at ground level. A lot of players starting to get a bit of mud on them. As caught here is Daisy Smith. Favell laying on the tackle will get a ball up. Just a metre in from the boundary line.
You can really see some of the players sucking in the big ones too, because it is just ping-ponging from halfback to halfback.
Molan trying to extract it. Hamilton fighting in for it as well. It's going to be all locked up. You wonder how that's going to play for Friday's game, given that it's been so fast on a heavy track. These girls playing 3 games across 5 days.
Well, tomorrow's a complete rest day for the ladies, so it does give them a little bit of a breather.
High ball inside 50 here for Vic Country. Notman collects, gathers, kicks the goal. They're just starting to find their rhythm here, Vic Country. And they've got a bit of a buffer.
Just mentioned that before, Shannara Notman, for a player of 178 centimetres, and she's got some great agility, but her work around her ankles when the ball is at ground level, she's really clean, and there's a little bit of a stink on going on in the back play.
There'll be a free kick awarded.
Must be some frustration going on there, but the free kick's actually going to go to Vic Country, so it's against the Eastern Allies. I didn't see the player involved, but it was a behind-the-play incident. There was a bit of push and shove. Umpires have got onto that quickly. Molan now breaks a tackle, keeps going, delivers a kick. The mark not taken there by Solitis. The ball just spills to the back of the pack. Once again, she picks it up, has a go at it, and a third go. It's out of bounds on the full. Well, Renee Solitis had 3 cracks at it then within the space of 15 seconds, so you can't blame her for persistence. But she's not repeating that 1-goal effort that she had against Queensland on Monday.
So the Eastern Allies, they're under a bit of pressure in the latter stages of this second term. Vic Country doing well to lock it in. Happy to see it over the line there. Sophie Molan will get a throw in. Half forward flank, outer side for Vic Country. 4-3-27 plays 2 straight 12, 13 minutes into the second term. Straight 15-minute quarters for the 2019 NAB AFLW Under-18 Championships here on the Gold Coast. Game 2 of day 2 here today at Southport. Maloney at the bottom of the pack. We'll get another stoppage just outside attacking 50.
They managed to start the quarters really well, the Eastern Allies. They kicked the first goal of each quarter, but then all the scoring done by Vic Country afterwards. Now there's been a free kick for tackle around the ankles, and it's going to go to the young Canberra product in Emily Pease from the Belconnen Magpies. That's an aggressive kick, but maybe just biting off a bit too much as Vic Country have the numbers. McAvoy is going to get the handball out now. It was well controlled in the end by Molly McDonald. Gets it inside 50. Shepherd goes back in, just misses the ball. It's going to be a push though. Put herself in. It wasn't Shepherd, in fact, it was Tegan Brett. She measures the pass. A delightful kick. And Notman takes it, plays on. And unfortunately, the eyes lit up like dinner plates and she sprayed it a little bit. What a great pass there from Tegan Brett on the lead for Notman. Deserved a bit better. 4-4-28, plays 2 straight 12, so it's 16 points the margin.
I think she had a little more time than what she thought she had there. Notman could have had 2 in a row. Eastern Allies go wide. Favell takes a nice mark. Still inside defensive 50, out of side. Wants to come inboard. Dishes the handball off to Hamilton. Been prominent again in this game for the Eastern Allies. Into the middle. Taken by Chapman for Vic Country, but it's turned the ball over. Allies send it forward, but will run out of time. Siren sounds for half-time here at Southport. 4-4-28, Vic Country. They lead the Eastern Allies 2 straight 12. Goal kickers for Country, Paige Shepherd, Brooke Hards, Olivia Barber and Shanava Notman, all single goal kickers for them, whilst Hamilton and Harrell have the only goals to date for the Eastern Allies, who just started to fade out of the game in the latter stages of that second term. Vic Country just starting to get their rhythm and structure into play, which wasn't evident in the first quarter.
No, it wasn't, but when it did get down inside attacking 50 for the Eastern Allies, you had people like Millie Brown, who is an absolute lockdown defender, and outside of that, when the opportunity comes, she will rebound the ball and hurt you on the rebound and make sure that the halfbacks for Vic Country can run away with the ball. Really impressed with their tight in work as well. You've got some more numbers there, though.
We do. 12 disposals for McAvoy, the leading possession getter for Vic Country. Maloney with 9 on the other side of the equation. O'Donnell being dominant for the Eastern Allies. Hamilton also up there, 9 to O'Donnell, 8 to Hamilton.
So it is half-time, and Vic Country lead by 16 points after they led by 8 points at quarter-time. Looking forward to a good second half, and we'll be back very shortly with that second half on the NAB AFLW Under-18 Championships. We're at the Southport Sharks for day 2 of round 2 of the NAB AFLW Under-18 Championships. The second game of the day, it's Vic Country versus the Eastern Allies, and at half-time, Vic Country lead 4-4-28 to 2 straight 12 to the Allies. 16 points the margin after they led by 8 points at quarter-time. Michael Price and Matthew Cox calling all of your action here at Southport. And Matthew, it was just a game where both quarters, the Eastern Allies started really well, but they were worn down really quickly and overtaken by the Vic Country girls.
Yeah, particularly in the last 5 minutes or so of that second term, the countryside just getting on top and finding that rhythm that they had on Monday in their dominant win over Queensland. Notman was presenting up forward, looking like a dangerous target. They had consistent contributors right around the ground. Just starting to build momentum in the back end of that term. The Eastern Allies, though, have to say, impressed with their performance so far. I was expecting it to be a little more one-sided than what we're getting. So kudos to them for being able to keep in touch with Vic Country. And even though it's 4-4-28 to 2 straight 12, it's not beyond reach for the Eastern Allies because they have had possession of the footy. They've had inside 50s. There's only 3 differences there, 13 to 10 in favour of Vic Country. So they're getting it there. It's just once it is there, they're not really able to use it. And Vic Country, led by Millie Brown in that defensive line, is just able to send it straight back out, and they're able to capitalise on the opportunity that they get.
They are getting a fair bit of rebound out of the back line, and Millie Brown, as you say, she's like a brick wall. She's almost impassable. So they're doing quite well. The only stat that really sticks out for me is the fact that Vic Country have got a lot more of the actual ball as far as the disposal counts. You've got the actual numbers there.
Yeah, 118 to 89 in favour of Vic Country. So, yeah, just getting their hands on the footy a lot more. Not over-possessing it either, I wouldn't suggest. I think they're assessing and making right decisions and just using the ball well to get around traffic and get out of trouble.
And to work the angles going inside forward 50 as well. I think that's where they've got the ascendancy. Their efficiency of going inside 50 has been very, very good so far. So we're looking forward to kicking off the second half here of Game 2. Vic Country versus the Eastern Allies. Of course, Astra O'Connor, the coach of Vic Country, is also the coach of the NAB AFLW Academy. She talked to us a little while ago during the Queensland Vic Metro match and said she was really looking forward to seeing the girls run out. They've had a few changes. They've lost Karras in the ruck, but Notman going in there as well. So really looking forward to this second half.
As we're back underway in the middle, Barber done a majority of the ruck work along with Notman today, and has been good in the ruck. King been solid as well. Just put that one down the throat, though, of Isabella Shannon, defensive side of the outer wing. She goes long with the kick, and that mark will be intercepted by the Eastern Allies. Hannah Stewart goes back towards the outer side. It's the side of the ground that is in better condition here at Southport. King head over the footy, and there's a whistle on play, a bit of holding. A free kick will go the way of the Eastern Allies, attacking side of the outer wing.
Jessica Whelan from the Camden Club kicks it now. It's McAvoy. It's a really nice mark. She's got some great skills. Pokes it forward. The lead was on there from Molan. She controlled it well, got the handball back. Well done there by Shepherd on hands and knees. Molan puts herself in again. Just bends over, picks it up, gets swung a long way around in a circle. Could have been pinged. It looks like Mia King's hurt in the foreground there. The gun player for the Eastern Allies just slowly gets to her feet as her teammate is held up there in Hamilton and will get another ball up. Just keep an eye on her as it goes along.
Yeah, it was her and Paige Shepherd that had heavy contact in one of the last passages of play.
Well, there you go. She's not too bad. She picked it up and got it out to a teammate in a lot of traffic. Ball goes towards the boundary line. Well picked up there by Gardner. They're going to share it around again by hand. They do it well. McAvoy just got her toe to the ball. Now it's picked up by Hamilton. Gets the ball away. Inside 50 for the Eastern Allies. At the back of the pack. Good mark taken there by Emily Hurley. Just went through the hands of the defender there from the East Coast Eagles Club. Emily Hurley. She'll have to go from around about 35 to 40 metres. Slight angle to the right. Gets reasonable purchase on it, but a little bit sprayed to the right and doesn't trouble the scorers, so it'll be a free kick and it'll go to Vic Country in the back pocket.
Just another missed opportunity there for the Eastern Allies. Need to lock it in here. Booming kick from Vic Country. Trying to set up Ella Wood out there. Had 3 to beat though, and the Eastern Allies through Mia King tried to work it to the advantage of Webster. A little wide for her. Over the line and out of play.
Yeah, Mia King, as we said, from Launceston, and she was probably best on ground for the Eastern Allies against the Central Allies in the last game.
And a very interested onlooker just to our left, the North Melbourne, Tasmania coach, Scotty Gowans, keeping his eyes on her.
Why wouldn't he? Be salivating at the thought.
Ball tossed in. Barber wins the tap down. Stoppage forms. Hamilton again, one of those trying to extract it for the Eastern Allies. She's been very impressive across the 2 games. Got a lot of the footy. Worked really hard. King pops it inside 50. Brown under pressure from Hamilton. Taken over the line and out of play.
So this is the way the Eastern Allies have started off each quarter so far. They kicked the first goal of both the first and second quarters before the Vic Country girls overran them. Let's see if they can continue that vein and get the first score on the board here. Throw in and the ruck at the back. Hurley over the top of Barber. Ball stuck underneath a pair of them. It's going to be balled up here. There's a little tangle of bodies. Goes again. So we'll have the same pair going from more or less the same spot. Oh no. Change of ruck for the Allies. It's actually going to be Hilla Stanbrook. Well, that looked like a throw coming out. Shannon got it away. Once again, they're held up. Eastern Allies just locking the ball inside their attacking 50, showing a lot of endeavour in doing so.
They just need to get a reward while it's down here. It's what they've been able to do all game, but Vic Country have been able to stop the flow. As the ball was squeezed out, there's holding, and a free kick will go the way of the Eastern Allies. In the hands of Mia King. Sets herself. The kick. Just wide of the intended target, and Vic Country are able to mop up into the muddy patch on the broadcast side. Unable to do anything with it there was Crelly. Country again get a kick. Barber. Great set. Caught by Hurrell. Holding the footy. Free kick to go her way.
And she wheels around quickly onto the right foot, and in her, I suppose, haste, turned it over. McAvoy read it beautifully, just off the knees of her intended target, and Eastern Allies have got a chance here. Was intercepted and then intercepted again. Coming through was Shannon and gave it away. It was Tiana Smith. Her kick to centre half forward. In the hands now of Prokopic for the Eastern Allies. Favell. Handball over the top. Tarrant, can she control it? No. She's got a lot of problems in there. And the ball stuck under her and McAvoy. You can tell the ones that get in and under for the footy with the Vic Country jumpers, especially the white jumpers, especially tainted in certain areas.
Barber, one of those, won the tap down there for Vic Country. Handball given away quickly. Socket off the ground by Gardner. Awkward bouncing footy. Crowley up and under kick from the Eastern Allies. Lands awkwardly for everybody. And then there just tackles left, right and centre. Favell on the outside is caught by Notman. Dispossessed. Extracts it, did Notman, and then had to dive back on top of it. The umpire circling, letting it go. Barber got it out, but it was taken by Tarrant. Just popped it up. Wood. Geez, it's a ping-pong footy at the moment on that outer side. Vic Country finally get a releasing kick, but there's no one really forward of this passage of play for them. Caught Phillips, taken high. Free kick to go her way.
So the ball will come back to the centre half-back position. And Sophie Phillips. She'll take the kick. Vic Country are really clogged up most avenues. The kick goes into the corridor, dangerously so, but it was well done by O'Donnell. She got the handball away. went back and got it, did Phillips again. And it comes back. It's chipped forward for the Eastern Allies. Edwards overruns it a bit. Coming in there was Wood. She got involved and held everything up. At half forward for the Eastern Allies, there'll be a ball up. They're trailing by 16 points. That was the margin at half time, and we've played 7.5 minutes of this third quarter. It's been a bit of an arm wrestle as they get it out now through Brown. She goes towards the boundary line. It was really well done there for the Eastern Allies, going back inside, attacking 50. Picked up there by Hurley. She tried to get the ball away. She was tackled. The ball dislodged. It's still inside, attacking 50. The ball stuck underneath the Vic Country defence. And they'll have another crack at it, the Eastern Allies. There's been no score in this quarter. It's been another arm wrestle.
And we've gone 8 minutes. Brown works it by hand up against the boundary line. There was McDonald, just puts it into space for Vic Country. It's a bouncing ball. Everyone overran it. Oh, great run-down tackle applied from Sophie Locke. Defensive side of the outer wing. Gets the free kick. Kick inboard. Just a little short. Diana Smith working through traffic. Coughed the ball up and the Eastern Allies come inboard. Mark taken here by Jordan Jolliffe in the middle. Well, Fankhauser reserve in Southport, puts it straight down the corridor. Good kick. Edwards takes the mark. 55 from home. She pops it into the hole. The only one there, though, for Vic Country to take the mark on that occasion there, Molly McDonald.
From the Dandy Stingrays, she gets it out to half-back. Oh, just dropping it like a hot spud there was Ella Wood. The tackler's not rewarded. The umpire comes in and said it was knocked out of her hand, so it will be a ball up. On the outer side, still no score in the third term. 9 minutes gone. Just a real arm wrestle in this good hard slog. Both teams going in very hard indeed. Eastern Allies have extracted it this time. Once again, it's Molly McDonald going for the ball. Strikes it and goes down the outer wing. It's going to go over the boundary line. No, it's not. Kept in. Yes, it is. Go with your first instinct. It's like Trivial Pursuit. It did go out, and there will be a throw in on the outer side.
So just next to the scoreboard that reads 4-4-28 Vic Country, Eastern Allies 2 straight 12. Just over 5 minutes remaining in the third quarter. We're going to get a re-throw-in. If that's the right way of describing it. Centre wing on the outer side. Eastern Allies have had the momentum but haven't been able to capitalise on the scoreboard. King receives the intercept, got dumped. The umpire says it was holding the footy. Free kick to go the way of Vic Country. On the outer side, Sophie Locke goes towards half forward. It was an awkward bouncing ball there for Brett, who had to lay on the tackle and will be rewarded for her efforts. Corner of the centre square. The attacking side of it for Vic Country. It was a risky kick. It was 3-on-1 at one point. And then applying a good tackle, Renee Salidas, who hasn't been as prominent today for Vic Country, but when the ball's in her vicinity, she ensures she influences the contest.
Oh, it can be a dangerous player. Speaking of which, Mia King enters the fray, gets the handball away. Now it's picked up there for Vic Country. Well done there by Molly McDonald to Shannon. Long kick towards the goal square. Olivia Barber, and toes it off the ground but hits the post. She's a dangerous proposition up forward, is Olivia Barber. 4-5-29, 2 straight 12 for the Eastern Allies. They've brought it in quickly. They've turned it over. It could be a big problem there as the handball gets placed in front of Molan. Picks it up on the right shoe. She gets tackled. Beautiful tackle holding the ball, and the Eastern Allies will escape.
Yeah, only just. Pease in the back pocket, broadcast side. Winds up with a kick. Oh no, Notman. Front spot, couldn't bring it in. Trying to work through traffic was Molly McDonald. The umpire says we're going nowhere, I'll ball it up. Just within the 50-metre arc for Vic Country. And a similar tale to the first two quarters. This third one, Vic Country just starting to work their way on top once again in the second half of it. Notman applying the pressure. Great tackle, not rewarded. Play on the call from the umpire. Vic Country, ball back in their hands, just sharing it around. McAvoy goes back to Brown. High ball towards centre half forward. Ball off hands. They'll go inside 50. King, desperate attempt, couldn't take the mark. Notman coming in, gives it to Molan. Looping handball over the top. Again, just working it by hand. Oh no, not Barber again. That time came off the side of the boot, over the line and out of play. A reprieve there for the Eastern Allies. Barber's had a couple of shots early.
Just Emily Pease there, the Belconnen Magpies product from Canberra, absolutely laid the goal-saving tackle there. Olivia Barber was just about to explode onto that one.
She won the contest there, Barber to ground. Paddled out now for Val. Gives a quick handball off to Harrell, who goes up the corridor. Eastern Allies really need to make something of this opportunity. Trying to lock it in is Edwards, applying the tackle. Big Country with numbers. Brown, composure to Shepherd. Kick wide. Multiple options here for Vic Country. Gardner laid the handball off, applied the Shepherd, but getting around her was O'Donnell, who's now caught. The umpire says, give it back to me, I'll ball it up.
You just see the ball movement there from Vic Country. They've just millimetres off perfection there. Notman got the ball down despite heavy pressure. Wood knocked off the ball. Now the Eastern Allies semi-smothered as they go through. Molly McDonald beautifully picked up there by King. She is a superstar. Going through Shepherd it was. They're very similar. Now coming through, Maloney could have been pushed in the back. Once again, at ground level and in that glue pot, it's not going to come out very quickly, as McAvoy was over the top there of Olivia Edwards. Another ball up just in front of the commentary box here on the Social Club side of the Southport Sharks Footy Club. Propelled forward there by Hurley. Maloney put herself in to pick it up. She was immediately tackled. Mia King, one of the two who's tackling her, the second one being Charlie Lovell.
Ball up right on top of the sticky stuff. Palm down by Hurley. Again, it's all wrapped up, and
you can hear it in the effects, Mike, when there's several sets of boots in there. You hear that squishing sound. That's that's the Oval.
It's just like conditions from down in Victoria. The Vic Country players have brought it with them. Notman did well to get it out. Vella socketed off the carpet. Goes back in, or a little slipping and a dive, and it'll be a free kick. The way of the Eastern Allies as the siren sounds for three-quarter time here at Southport. 4-5-29 plays 2 straight 12. There was only 1 point scored in that quarter the way of Vic Country. A real arm wrestle, but I fear for the Eastern Allies. They had control of it for about 10 minutes and just couldn't impact the scoreboard.
They couldn't, and it was, as we've said before, really stingy defence from the Victorian Country girls, led by Millie Brown, who's not letting any through, but she's certainly getting a lot of help down there as well. But the Eastern Allies girls haven't turned it up. They keep presenting, they keep tackling, and they're having a red-hot go. What do the numbers look like?
Only 3 inside 50s behind Vic Country, the Eastern Allies. March 19s, the Eastern Allies. Vic Country with 12. The disposals, though, still dominant for Vic Country, 170 to 141 totals. The leading possession getters on the ground, McAvoy with 17, Tarrant with 13.
So we'll take a very quick break and we'll be back with the final quarter here of Vic Country versus the Eastern Allies here at the AFLW U18 Championships. Here we are back at Southport, Fankhauser Reserve, the home of the Southport Sharks, the reigning NEFL premiers here in southeast Queensland, and it is the home today of day 2 of round 2 of the NAB AFLW U18 Championships for 2019. It is three-quarter time at the Vic Country versus Eastern Allies match. And at three-quarter time, it is the Vic Country side leading by 17 points. They led by 16 at half-time and 8 at quarter-time. Michael Price and Matthew Cox calling everything for you. And just having a quick look at some of the stats, the disposal count, Vic Country 170 to Eastern Allies 141. They're getting their hands more on the footy. Inside 50s, Vic Country just leading that 16 to 13. But the tackling stats, I'm liking it from the Eastern Allies, 64 plays, 56. So they are really desperate in defence, just not being able to put it on the board when they get it inside 50.
And they're structuring up really well too. That's been another impressive asset for the Eastern Allies today. They've looked more controlled with ball in hand at times, but unfortunately the issue for them is they haven't been able to put scoreboard pressure on. Vic Country capitalising when they do have ball in hand, just using it a little smarter as we start play for the final term. Big fist there from Hilla Stanbrook trying to get things moving for the Eastern Allies. Working through traffic, Crowley, who's gone the wrong way for them. Getting caught there high. Zoe Harrell will take the free kick for the Eastern Allies, getting first use of it once again to kick off proceedings in this final quarter. The kick was partially smothered. A lot of white jumpers around. Shepherd, scrubber kick, ended up in the hands of Stewart, which also gave a scrubber kick along the carpet. It's congested, muddy. King, her kick smothered. Now it's released towards the broadcast side. Collecting it after soccering it there. Hilla Stanbrook puts it towards the half-forward flank. Vic Country getting their first. Daisy Smith's all caught. Will get a ball up.
So Eastern Allies really desperate to get something on the board here. Failed to score in that third quarter. Notman over the top of Hilla Stanbrook gets the ball down. Molan tackled and lets loose the ball. Shuffled over the boundary line by Gemma Webster for the Eastern Allies, and we'll get another throw in. And this one, that right half forward for the Eastern Allies. Desperate to get something happening, as we say. Look for Mia King at this stoppage. Notman, or Mia King's opponent there in Shepherd, took the ball out, got the handball away. Hacked forward again for Vic Country. Off hands there. Leader, and it goes back there for Eastern Allies through Stewart. Handballs are speculating. One puts Pease under a bit of pressure. She couldn't quite take it. Hacked forward there, bounces towards King. She can't. It. Umpire says nothing happening. We'll ball it up on the centre wing in front of the Southport Sharks Social Club.
So Eastern Allies, they've won a couple of hit-outs early in this final term. King being held will get the free kick. Centre wing, broadcast side. What can she do? She decides to chip it short, taking it on the half volley. Was well done there from Tarrant. Ball towards half forward. Vic Country with numbers around, but don't use it cleanly on this occasion. King fighting for it once more. She's caught this time by Abby Chapman, and we'll get a ball up.
She's had a few stats, Mia King. She's had the 14 disposals, but the thing that impresses me, 12 tackles, a game-high 12 tackles. She really is doing the defensive hard work before she actually goes and beelines the ball.
She's been really good in this match today as Notman, a big leap over the top. It's no real advantage, though, in the end. And we'll get another ball up.
She's been good in the clinches, Paige Shepherd as well.
And again with the big fly, Hilla Stanbrook bringing it to ground. Again, the ball, it's squeezed out. Hurrell on the outside. Hamilton now fighting for it as well for the Eastern Allies. It's extracted just as the umpire blew his whistle for Maloney, and we'll get another ball up.
Once again, it comes down in the same spot. That wasn't going anywhere. Both ruckman putting the pressure on each other and therefore bringing the ball down close to their feet. Not wanting to give too much width to either side here. Stanbrook just punches it forward, making a liar out of me straight away. The ball goes stuck underneath several, including Brenna Tarrant, and another ball up. So we've progressed a couple of metres here. Stanbrook again. Molan get the handball away. Missed Vella though. Stuck under again. Can anybody bring this one out? Umpires circling. It's not coming out at all. So we've travelled a couple of metres, but in the opposite direction. So it's a real arm wrestle so far in this final quarter. Stanbrook punches it forward. Well done there by Tiana Smith to get it through into the middle. Maloney's the target, but she's outnumbered there. Pease did well to hook it back around the body. Nice juggling mark. They want to move it quickly. Crelly towards the top of the arc. Comes off hands Vella. She tries to slap it forward. They are very, very stingy people. They don't like anything happening. Millie Brown just hands it off as Vic Country get it out of there yet again.
Towards the centre wing. They're not out of danger just yet, though. Molan under pressure now. Gives a good handball to Vella. No, it wasn't. Hamilton coming through. Molan will get a free kick after being infringed. Underneath the scoreboard, 4-5-29 plays 2 straight 12. 5 gone in the final term. Vic Country will press forward again through Gardner. Bouncing ball inside 50. McAvoy dish the handball out. Salidas has to apply the tackle. McAvoy comes in for support. The umpire says, give it to me, I'll ball it up. Deep inside, attacking 50. She's just having a look at the Guernsey there of Lucy McAvoy. You could just about throw that one away and get a new one for Friday. It's going to take a long time to get out in the wash, that mud. Breaking clear here, Tarrant for the Eastern Allies. Just through the fingers of Shannon, who went back, collected it. Long ball back towards centre half forward. Came off multiple hands in the end. Kicks being smothered left, right and centre. There'll be an endangered kick called the way of Vic Country.
Tegan Brett, who's just come off the bench and onto the field, ran straight inside attacking 50, and well done there by Amy Prokopic, who realised that and bolted back inside defensive 50. She was by herself for a little while.
As Molan goes long after recovering after getting her finger kicked in that contest. Eastern Allies with numbers, but they're in all sorts of trouble in the goal square. Good pressure. And the snap there coming from Brett just goes through the minor score. It was clever from Brooke Hards to keep the ball in play to try and get it to Vic Country's advantage. But just another minor score for them.
So 4-6-30 plays 2 straight 12. So it's an 18-point margin. That's a really good mark, isn't it? She's a ripping player, is Lucy McAvoy, the dual All-Australian under 18. Be interesting to see how her career develops. Eastern Allies now desperately holding on as Vic Country are pressing yet again. It's not quite inside attacking 50, but you can see that there's a massive bodies around the contest, and the umpire has to come in to separate them. We'll have Notman versus Stanbrook in the ruck. Stanbrook ends up getting her toe to it inside the corridor. 2-on-1 in favour of Vic Country. Well done there. It was Camilla Taylor who basically held them both up and wrestled the ball on the ground against Gardner, and will do it all again. Another ball up in the centre corridor. Stanbrook, she gets it down to McAvoy, immediately tackled, lets loose the ball. Handball comes to Vella. Vella gets it back now to Shannon. Loops it over the top looking for Gardner. Eastern Allies aren't giving up. Still presenting in a physical manner as Vic Country try to extract this ball. The umpire says we'll ball it up. It's still in the centre square.
No quarter being given from either side. Great arm wrestle in this second match of the day here at Southport. And again, it's stopped. Just inside attacking 50 for Vic Country. They have a handy lead. 4-6-30 plays 2 straight 12. Just needs someone to step up here, the Eastern Allies, just to break clear.
So hard to break out of these stoppages, isn't it? When they do, they're both utilising the ball as well as they can, but hard to break out of the congestion.
And I reckon Vic Country would be happy just to keep it this way.
Yep.
Given they have the ascendancy, as it's just being fisted around like a volleyball at the moment. Notman, bottom of the contest, couldn't trap it in. Squeezed out Shepherd. Hovering, caught. Ball spills free. Hamilton diving in for it. Trying to extract it is Gardner. Did well in the end to get it forward for Brett. High ball going to land goal square. Courageous effort from the Eastern Allies defender who's got Barber all over her. Didn't end up with the footy. Barbara was able to get it out. The Eastern Allies cough it up. Opportunity opens up for Locke. Squeeze it out. Here's Brett again. Hurry snap. Doesn't go the distance. No, it did according to the umpire. Eastern Allies probably should have gone back on the mark, but put it into the pocket. The hoping kick's going to be no good. Here's Ella Wood. Gets her way through traffic. Has Notman in the pocket who takes the mark.
What a great kick. Just the vision to actually pop it through, and she could have, again, been teased into running in and having a big ping at goal from just on the edge of her distance. But no, just popped it up and looked for Notman, who's had a really good game today. Really liked her work, Shannara Notman.
She comes in a slow and steady approach. Looking for her second. Goes across the face of goal. Barber got fisted out of her hands. Salitas is hovering here. Tries to strip the tackle. Got the handball away in time. Ball is all wrapped up and not going anywhere. We'll get a ball up. Forward pocket out of side for Vic Country.
So we've played around about 10 minutes of, or 10 and a half minutes of the final term here. Only been 1 point scored in the third and fourth quarters, both to Vic Country. The Eastern Allies are just pressing though, and at the moment they're being held completely. So umpire's going to come in and say we'll ball it up. Hilla Stanbrook versus Olivia Barber. Hilla Stanbrook gets it down, picked up by Molan, smothered. Once again, Eastern Allies coming through. Mia King off the side of the shoe and picked up there by Doyle. She gets tackled. Ball spills. Here she is, Notman again, looping a handball over the top to Molan. Molan, fresh air shot under a lot of pressure and hacked out by the Eastern Allies. This is coming back in. It's well, all the paths were converging. Oh, beautifully picked up by Wood. Then the handball just knocked out of her hands. McAvoy still gets the handball away. Mia King, that's a high contact from Wood. Nothing malicious, but just a little careless. And it'll be a free kick to the Allies.
King goes wide to Hamilton. A couple of the better players here for the Eastern Allies. Goes wide with the kick. Stewart on the outer side. Evades the tackle, got one a little high. Advantage is paid the Allies' way. In the end, the mark is taken by Douglas. Centering ball is risky. Pack collides. Couple of casualties off the contest, and we've got a Vic Country player down on the outer side as well. Favell juggling the footy. It was a little dinky kick away from the contest. McAvoy, gee, she's been good. Gives the handball off to Smith, who brings it wide. Bouncing ball for Shepherd, or went awkwardly for her. Jolliffe closing on her. Shepherd did well. Cool and calm under pressure. Got it to Shannon. Goes forward. Desperate diving attempt there from the Eastern Allies defender in Doyle. Getting caught in traffic. Brett did well. Oh, spots up a target. Mark taken by Smith. She goes further afield. Mark taken by McDonald. Set sail and goals. Molly McDonald with her first on the board. And if it wasn't already beyond doubt, it now is.
Just having a look at the player that was down on the ground is actually Millie Brown. She's feeling the effects, and she was actually pointing to the physio, to her shoulders and the top part of her, or lower part of her neck there, but she looks fine as she jogs off. But they will take no precautions if she's pointing to that area and feeling a bit sore. They'll bring her straight off, and they are doing so.
And didn't quite see how she got injured.
No, it was just that physical contest on the outer side, again, you look at the conditions of today, you put your body on the line, and that's what they've been doing all day, is Vic Country. Been doing it nicely. So coming on, Ella Wood now, as we see Millie Brown. Just in the hands of doctor and physio, but she looks okay. We'll get a report on that as well. Back into the middle of the ground. Well done to Tiana Smith. Oh, good work in traffic. Got it to Barber. This is great work. The handball from Vic Country, Vella. And again through McAvoy. Once again, they get it inside 50. Back of the pack was Notman. Oh, you're stranded there by yourself there. The Eastern Allies defender had 3 on her. She did beautifully to get rid of it. In fact, it was Sophie Phillips. Boy, she was under pressure going back towards the goal line there. Ball up. Notman double hands it down to Molan, has a snap. What a beauty. Bit of ruck work. Was that a set play between the two redheads? Fantastic work. Vic Country go ahead. 6-6-42 to 2 straight 12. Now 30 points the margin.
That was unbelievable. And again, similar to the first game, a couple of late goals for Vic Country have made the scoreboard look very impressive in their favour when it's been a real close arm wrestle. The Eastern Allies will be disappointed with the way it's petered out, particularly when they've had a lot of the footy. As the siren sounds to conclude the game, 6-6-42 Vic Country defeating the Eastern Allies just 2 straight 12.
Look, I think if you were the coaching staff and everybody that's associated with the Eastern Allies, you'd be happy with the effort that was put in, especially at the beginning of each quarter, that you could see that the effort, the intent was there. But I think, once again, the conditions might have... Well, look, how can you say that favour Vic Country? Because the Eastern Allies made up of players from Tasmania, New South Wales, ACT, fairly similar conditions you might get in either part of that world. But... for 30 points the margin, probably it says how good Vic Country were when they got the ball out into the clear. Eastern Allies tried hard, they tackled them into the ground, but Vic Country took their chances. We just saw that last bit of play, just a deft tap down and a ripping snap. They did a couple of beautiful things like that throughout the day. And
in the end, the inside 50s was actually quite large to Vic Country, 24-14. Obviously, the late flurry of activity causing that. Hit-outs 27-36 in favour of the Eastern Allies. As we take a look at the tackle count, very close. 84 Eastern Allies, Vic Country 80. The big differential, though, Vic Country 235 disposals over the Eastern Allies 171. That's the major difference. The Eastern Allies took more marks, 22-17. But it was just the use of the footy there for Vic Country that was dominant. McAvoy led all comers on the ground, 24 disposals in addition to her 3 marks and 3 tackles. Paige Shepherd was also prominent with 17 touches. On the other side of the equation, Mia King again, one of the best for the Eastern Allies, 18 disposals, was the leading tackler on the ground with 14. Tarrant the next best for the Eastern Allies with 15 disposals. Well, there you go. It is Vic Country over the top.